Look at that. Look at how absolutely incredible that is. Look at that beauty of a wallpaper, lads. This is peak wallpaper.
Hello lads, lads and lassies, welcome back to a brand new Gurren Lagann reaction. But wait! The series is over! What am I reacting to? Well, at the bequest of surprisingly many of you, well, we're doing the movies. I mean, I did not know that Gurren Lagann had movies up until you lads started saying in the comments down below, you should totally react to the movies when you're done with the series. So, well, you know, the series is over, and now I'm just... You know, I want more Gurren Lagann. Came for the movies. I do know that these movies are a retelling to a certain point. I don't know if they changed anything or how much of anything's really changed. And this first movie, I'm going to suspect that it's gonna end like the mid-season finale. Like, so episode 1 to like, what was it, episode 15? I think it's gonna be this movie. And then episode 17 to episode 27 is going to be the second movie. So this is going to be my reaction to the first movie. I'm very curious to see what they cut and what they added because this movie is only 2 hours long. Well, is that enough? Well, how many? What's the math there?
1 hour later.
So theoretically, there should be 6 episodes. Like that's how much 6 episodes should theoretically make up this 2-hour movie. But are they going to combine some stuff from the episodes, or are they going to take some stuff from the episode? Like, I could definitely see them cutting episode 6, which was the fan service episode. I think that was episode 6. Yeah, that was the one with the hot spring. You know, that episode was special in my heart. I think that they might end up cutting it for the movie. But honestly, let's just get into it. I know this is sub, but you know, since so many of you requested that I react to the movies, I don't have a problem with sub or dub. I prefer listening to stuff in dub, but you know, if it's in sub, I'll watch it in sub. And this will give me an interesting perspective on Gurren Lagann. This is probably going to be one of the first animes I've watched in both dub and sub now because of the movies. Technically, because of the movies. But yeah, I will not recognize anyone's voices. Someone's going to be talking, I'm going to go, oh, could be anyone. But let's get into this movie. Alright, so I gotta be honest. I went into this movie... Ooh, move my desk there. So I went into this movie expecting not much. Because I knew it was more or less a retelling of Gurren Lagann. And for the most part, it was a retelling. I would say up until the hour and 15-minute marks, it was like the best of, the highlights of some of the best episodes of Gurren Lagann. And then it just completely and utterly changed the ending. Like the last, episodes 11 to 15 were like completely changed and rewritten for the best. But I'll get to those later. I kind of want to go through the entire movie, like what I thought. Like I have some notes written down, and then I'll get to the end. Actually, should I talk about the end now? I mean, I guess this is the most fresh in my mind. So it really started around. Actually, it started around like the 110 mark when Nia was confronting Simone about Simone being his own person, and he doesn't have to be Kamina. And Yoko was there. That was like the biggest difference in that scene, that Yoko was there. And they moved the scene of Simone telling Yoko about the story of when they were drilling up to the surface. They moved that scene from being captured by Guam to right there. And then we had the Adina attack. It was going pretty much the same as the anime. And we got the 4 generals. We're not 4. Like, we got all 3 generals. Instead of one at a time, they just were like, no, we're going to attack now. All of us. And then Viral, that's another big change. Viral got, what are they, like a tiger, and I guess that's what they're called? And Viral got his own. They all fought. Everyone had this great moment. Like, I love Simone. You know what? I don't know. I can't tell which, I can't decide which I kind of prefer. I can't tell if I like the movie ending or if I preferred the show, like how the show went with it. Because with the show, we went through the generals. You know what? If the movie had a little more time, I wish we could have seen a better fight between the gigantic general ship thing that they did, that they created, between that and Team Gurren, because that was like they combined and immediately exploded. Though the explosion, I don't know how Gurren Lagann does it, but they make their explosions so beautiful. It is magical just to watch the explosions go down in Gurren Lagann. And then, so like that's the only thing I have with that battle. Just like they turned into like the gigantic the gigantic combo thing, and they immediately die. I wish the movie was just a tad bit longer. Could have pushed it to like 2 hours, so we could have gotten a little more battle with that. But before they transformed, the battle was so good. We got to see more of Adina. I feel like well, at least Adina and Yoko. You know what? No, I wish that they didn't transform into like the gigantic gunman thing, because it would have been awesome if like the black siblings took down Guam. Well, they kind of did, but they kind of didn't. But it would have been awesome if like the black siblings took down Guam. Simone took down Ceto Mandra. Yoko killed. I just said her name, Adina. Everyone would have had their little moment. That would be, and everyone did technically have their moment. Like Simone killed Ceto Mandra. The black siblings destroyed Guam's shield armadillo thing, and then Yoko fought Adina. But if everyone was able to destroy one of them, and then I don't know, they could have destroyed. They could have done the gigantic explosion against Viral's gunmen, and Viral somehow survived that. But I love that everyone was able to get their moment. With Adina versus Yoko, that was a great. I love that she was using her sniper as a bow staff. Only in anime will you ever see that. John Wick 4, please give that to me. Oh man, the fights here. I just wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to see that, because I did say what if they combine the 4 generals? But when Ceto Mandra came down, cleared the water that Adina had made, I was like, all right. Everything's changing. This is where it changes. And change it did. Oh. Yeah, that final fight, the last 30 minutes of this was completely different, and I'm all for it. I hope the second movie, I hope that it's just as different. I hope that we get, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. Because I feel like they've left themselves in the opportunity where they can just kind of copy and paste the episodes, you defeat Lord Genome, then we get the 7-year time skip, then we get to fight the anti-spirals. But I feel like there's so much more. Is there supposed to be a third movie coming out to finish the whole series off, or to make this a trilogy of movies? Because I feel like there's just so much action we have to go through with the second movie. We have to defeat Lord Genome, we have to have the 7-year time skip, we have to do the Rossyu versus Simone thing. We have to fight. We have to actually leave Earth, fight the first batch of anti-spirals. Then we have to fight the second batch of anti-spirals. There's so much more to go through in the second movie, and I know it is slightly longer, but it's not that much longer. So, are we gonna get it to be continued in that too? I don't know. Maybe a third movie. I doubt a third movie's coming out. I'm fairly certain these movies are over a decade old at this point. But who knows? Oh man. I'm just gonna go through my notes now. Yeah. Okay. The Lord Genome opening. What a great. Because the original show, it opened with what was episode 23's ending, I think, with Simone walking out. Everyone's in their final outfit forms, yeah, Simone, and Simone's walking out the awesome Chad he is, ready to go find Mia in the gigantic space Gurren Lagann, whatever he called it, 50 words, and that was a hype moment then. because I knew it was coming. I wanted to see when Sorairo got. But seeing Lord Genome's past like that. I know you lads have told me that there's an OVA that goes through Lord Genome's past, but it's like really short. Is this part of the OVA? Like, did they just take the OVA, put it in the beginning of this movie? Because that's, to be honest, if you have never seen the OVAs and you like were a Gurren Lagann fan, you want to watch this movie, that is a great way to open the movie. Because you're like, something different started. And so it makes you think like, what else is the movie gonna change? Not a lot till the end, but yeah, great way to open the movie. I kind of want to go through that again because we see Lord Genome fighting off the anti-spirals, and then like at one point he starts subjugating humanity. So it was like a really quick, but it's great, greatness. Let's see what else we got. So the different ending I already talked about. I'm really interested to see how they're gonna do that for the second movie. I'm just looking through my notes to see like what I want to talk about chronologically. Okay. So just to go with the final fight, I love the idea that the final fight was a free-for-all for Nia. It was like, who has the honor of killing her for the entertainment of Lord Genome? And it's just a great. I really wish that they did that in the series. I'm not griping with like what was the final 4 or 5 episodes, like episodes 11 to 15. I mean, if we did that, we never would have gotten the beach episode. You can't live without a beach episode. I mean, come on. I am surprised they skipped the beach episode in this, but they did not skip the hot springs episode, which, of all the episodes, I thought they would have skipped. I thought it was that one, but they did include it in the montage, and I'll get to that montage a little bit. But I love the idea of the free-for-all for Nia. They still kept the broadcast, which inspired a lot of people to go fight. Ugh. I do hope eventually one day that this movie gets a dub, because I was reading those lines. I was reading communism lines, and I heard the dub voice actor. Like in my head, I was translating it with the dub's voice actor. I heard Yuri Lowenhall. I can't pronounce his name. Yuri Lowenhall. I heard him as Simone, and then like the actress that played Yoko. I just kind of just translating all the lines of like the dub's voices. And it would be incredible if one day we got the cast back of the dub to just do this movie, like to do both the movies. That would be so great. I would love that. I already talked about. Okay, so I wrote down where do they end it, and early in the reaction, I thought they were going to end it with the destruction of Lord Genome, and then we would start the next movie with the 7-year time gap. But it looks like we'll start. Next movie's cold open would probably be the battle with Lord Genome, and then we're gonna get the title, and then the time skip. That's my prediction. All right, and then I have 3 things left. So the combined scenes. So in the beginning of the movie, when this is an example of it. So when when Keaton is like imprisoned, when he's in shackles from the other guy, I can't remember, like the leader of their village, when he's in shackles with him, and Simone is like worried about the earthquake. They cut so much, but I understand why they cut it. It was like to make time for the movie, but they had me there. I thought that the earthquake was gonna happen, then we'd go see Simone in the gulag, Keaton in the gulag, and then we'd have it was the earthquake immediately followed by the gunman. The pacing in this movie was just so fast. I don't know. I do enjoy. I did like this movie, but I've got to say, I enjoyed the series much more. Because this movie was so fast, a lot of the emotional scenes, like Keaton's death, or Simone getting over Keaton's death. Wow, Simone getting over Keaton's death was much more hype, I believe, in this movie. Keaton's death was affected heavily because we just didn't get as much screen time with him as we did with the series. But it was still I feel like this is just a high, other than the last 30 minutes. I wrote down in my notes, this is just a highlight. Like, it's a highlight reel of some of the best parts of Gurren Lagann, some of the parts that you may or may not need to watch, like the Hot Springs episode, of course. And it's really interesting that they cut, I mean, obviously, you know, again, for time, they cut Kitan and Rasu's introductions. Or not cut them, but they included them in a montage, because the montage was very creative in how to, like, combine, like, 4 episodes. But is that going to affect, like, the relationship between Rasu and Simone? Because the big part about Rasu and Simone in the second part of the series is that Rasu, like, the allies, like, the antagonists, and he's the, you know, he doesn't want to be the antagonist, but he believes he's doing the right thing. So by, like, cutting his introduction and a lot of his screen time, is there going to still be that, like, those feelings in there? Is it going to be, like, as, like, are you going to be as connected or as invested in it? And same with Kitan's, like spoilers. I just would actually reaction, but yeah, I've seen the series. If you haven't seen the series, then go watch it. Watch my reactions. Gonna come back here. But like Kitan's death, is that gonna be affected, like emotionally wise? Because again, a lot of Kitan's screen time was cut, as well as his introduction too. I don't know. This movie was definitely made for fans of the show. I feel very bad for anyone that went to... Okay, well, I don't feel bad, because this movie is great, still. But I feel bad for people that went to watch the movie, then found out there was a show. Because the movie spoils a lot of, like, the emotional parts of the show, like Kamina's death. It's not as emotional in the movie, or at least I didn't find it as emotional in the movie. But in the show, it was heart-wrenching to see that. And, like, the kiss between Kamina and Yoko in the show, it was so much more exciting to see that. But in the movie, it was kind of like, yay, they hit the story beat from the show. It just went way, like, really fast. But this movie was such a ride. It was all worth it for that last 30 minutes. That last 30 minutes, I think, was superior to the fight that they had in the show, because it makes the generals less incompetent, I feel, because they all lost twice. Well, at least Adine lost once. She retreated the first time. Wait. No, she lost. Yeah, all the generals lost twice in the original show. But in this one, they just... I feel like in this one, it just shows, like, oh, look, 4 very competent generals. They were just not prepared for the strength of Team Daiger, and the last 30 minutes of this movie, absolutely incredible. And like, I was wondering if this was going to be like a like when I was going into the movie, I was wondering if it was going to be like a literal highlight reel of the show. They cut scenes together, but no, it's new. The art is, while the art is very close to the show, I can tell, I'm fairly certain they didn't pull anything from the show. I think everything is newly drawn. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But of course, the last 30 minutes of the movie is newly drawn. But I'm fairly certain they didn't pull anything like from the first episode. Like, it was all like new animation that we saw, even though it was like mirroring the scenes that we saw in the last one. And then this movie also, I feel, even though like Kamina's death isn't as impactful, I feel like the movie also highlighted Kamina and Simone's relationship. Because since it's within the first hour of it, you see, instead of like going week to week, episode by episode, you see a lot more of Kamina interacting with Simone. But you just don't get enough screen time. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Because I say it highlights their relationship, but I don't feel his death as much as I felt it in the show. But it's kind of like the highlight reel of their relationship. And you see why Kamina needed to die for Simone to get to where he is. And I cannot wait now to see the next movie. Lads, lads, and lassies, if you enjoyed this reaction, well, you know, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, because I will be back next week to do the next movie. And as a little something for you, since this is more of a commentary rather than a reaction, because like I've seen the show, so I knew what was coming in the movie more or less. I am going to leave a link down below next to the reaction. I'm going to try and keep the reaction up on YouTube. Highly doubt that it will work, but I will try my best to do that. But the link down below, there will be a link to the full length of my reaction to the movie. While that does not mean the full length does not mean that the movie is going to be like side by side with me. No. The full length means that the movie is, or I'm going to be watching the movie, you just have to sync up when I say 3, 2, 1, go. You hit play with your own source. But yeah, that's a little treat. I'll be doing the same thing for the next movie as well. Just as a little treat to you guys. I know a lot of you have been asking for the movie reaction. So as a treat, you get the highlight of my reaction. You also get to watch me sitting down, watching and talking over this movie for 2 hours, if you're into that. Not everyone would be, so that's why there's a full-length version, there's a highlight version, there's a discussion. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to this, leave down in the comments below. Leave down your hype for the next movie, what did I miss, all that jazz, and I'm gonna push my Gurren Lagann Q&A final for the finale. I'm gonna push that to a week or two after the final. I react to the final movie. That way you can get all your questions in. I'll be refreshed because I've just seen the movie. You can ask me anything. You can like say, oh, what do you think of this scene from the show compared to this scene in the movie? Go, just ask me anything. It's the final, it's my finale Gurren Lagann Q&A. And I'll be responding to all your comments in video format. So yes lads, subscribe and stay tuned for everything else on the channel. Adios.